This is what I've been looking for. Welcome to the beautiful and very important meres and mosses, which we'll explore in just a moment. I want to take you on a journey, on an adventure into this beautiful and vitally important habitat. And we're going to start by meeting this little champion right here. This is the famous water stick insect, Renatra it's called, and you can see those beautiful legs out there, a little bit like a praying mantis. You can see why it's got the name water stick insect. Beautifully camouflaged amongst all this debris, these old bits of reeds and stuff. And what it will do is it will sit like that, okay, upside down near the water's surface on a reed stem, and it's got a snorkel. Look at that, it's got a snorkel on its bottom. And it will sit like that, upside down, with its legs out, ready to go. A small fish comes along, another invertebrate, another aquatic insect comes along, whack, drives those fangs, those piercing arms right out the front into the chest, into the body cavity of that, grabs it, moves it in up to the mouth parts here, got a little pointy mouth there, and brings it out into that mouth, suck all of those body juices up into the water stick insect itself. Fantastic predator of the underwater world. This chap is only maybe about a third as big as they get. They're actually the largest aquatic insect on our island in the whole of the UK. They're a fantastic animal and it's found a great home here, as I say, feasting on other aquatic invertebrates. I'm just going to let it go on its way now. You go and find yourself some nice insects, mate. Put him off down there. There you go, off you go. I'm going to get out of here because I'm pretty cold. Thankfully for me and my hypothermia levels, I was shaking like an icicle back there. We've moved out of the very wet meres and onto the slightly drier mosses. And what a landscape it is. Have a look down here. This little plant, this little bit of red down here, might not seem like very much, but actually it's a carnivorous plant, believe it or not. And carnivorous plants aren't particularly common in the UK. We've got a few species. This is the round-leaved sundew. Sundew by name, not really by nature though. It's actually an imposter, a fake. And what it does is it lures in insects, other small invertebrates, to have a nice drink of dew, sun dew, a nice drink of dew on those little red tendrils down there. Or perhaps it looks like some nectar and some insects will come in for that. And what happens then is they get stuck. They get stuck on that really sticky substance that we can see glistening away there, and the sundew slowly envelops the insect and then sucks all its body juices out and dissolves it with a mixture of enzymes on the plant leaf itself, and those nutrients go down into the plant and help it grow better. Now, why are sundews in this bog? Because they are bog specialists, they're moss specialists. Well, they come out of the sphagnum moss and they haven't got particularly long roots and they can't get very good nutrients just from the bog itself. It's quite a nutrient poor area. So what they'll do is they'll take those insects, they'll lure those insects in, take them, kill them. It takes about 15 minutes to kill them, but they can take several days to actually digest them, and they will get the nutrients that they need from the insects. Now, they're not quite a predator, but they are certainly a carnivore of the plant world, a carnivorous plant. They're a fantastic species, and this whole area is famous for them. Oh, look at this. I've always read about these guys doing this, but I never ever thought I'd actually see it happen. This is actually what we call an assassin bug, a type of assassin bug. Now, why it's significant that they're here next to the sundews, they're actually thieves, and they steal the dying insects that come and get stuck on the sundew that we've just been talking about. So they're an actual thief, and they live with the sundew. It's not a symbiotic relationship. The sundew doesn't benefit from it at all. These bugs, and they are bugs for once, they'll come along, grab whatever's struggling in the sundew's clutches before it gets engulfed by the leaves itself, and then make away with it. They don't get stuck onto the sundew as other insects do. Fantastic. Assassin bug. I'm going to let him go back to his sundew there. Fantastic. I've got to get a photo of this. Have you the camera, please, Tim? Thank you. Thank you. This, and I know this for a fact, is actually a new species to this county, the county of Shropshire. Never been discovered here before. Have a go at that. Let's get a couple of quick snaps. I think that'll about do it. Yes. Here you go. Give you the camera back. Just say goodbye to the sundew. But have a look at this. It's not a place you want to stay particularly long on the ground for, because it's absolutely soaking. But have a look at the ground. I'm being very careful where I put my feet. I don't want to stand on any sundews. I'm standing on the grass and the heather here. But have a go at what happens when I move my feet. Look at that. It's like a quivering bog. The whole ground is moving. And that's because basically this is just like a giant natural sponge, and the sphagnum moss has got these really long roots, goes all the way down below, and it just takes in all the water around it. And of course it's not quite like a lake because it's got all that moss, but it is like a big spongy trampoline. And sphagnum moss absolutely loves it here, as does the sundew. Now I've got to try and get out of here before sinking in any further. Have a look at this. This is a rather sad story, to be honest, but thankfully it's a remnant of history as well, because this is a pile of peat blocks. It's been cut out of the landscape around here because peat really is just rotting sphagnum moss. So what they used to do is they used to cut it all out of the landscape, pile it up, and then sell it to, mostly to gardeners actually, because peat makes a great growth stimulant for plants. Unfortunately, when you take the peat out of the habitat, sadly you lose a lot of the wildlife that depends on this area. There's a few machines over here that are used to take the peat out of the environment, so we're just going to go and have a look at those. But as I say, thankfully it's a remnant of the past, because the conservationists here are doing a fantastic job at getting this area back to how it was, how it really should be, and the wildlife comes back with it. And here it is, the old machinery shed. Here's a part of the equipment that was used to cut some of the peat out of the bog around here. Now, I don't like this kind of machinery because of what it symbolises, but sheds and outbuildings like this can be a good place for wildlife. You find various small rodent species, maybe some amphibians hiding under bits and pieces, and definitely spiders. And have a look at this one over here. This is the very beautiful but quite venomous Steatoda bipunctata. Actually, they're not very venomous to us at all. But this is the spider that gets all the bad press. This is a false widow. False widow spiders, quite aptly named actually, and in fact their name is just a panic, because they're not a black widow at all. They're not a widow spider. They are in the same family, but they're a different genus. And people panicked. They saw them, they thought bulbous abdomen there, little bit of colour on it, a little bit of brown, maybe a bit of red on some of the individuals. Got to be a black widow. Not the case at all. Not the case at all. These very quite shy, retiring, beautiful spiders. We'll have a close-up of her legs in a minute. It is a female. This species is called the rabbit hutch spider, and they don't get a lot bigger than this. This is a pretty good sized specimen. This is a female, and the males are a bit smaller than this. She's really beautiful, really very happy just to, she's just got in a bit of a tangle there with her web. So she's laying it out on my fingers here. And they're actually quite messy web weavers. They put all these different bits of silk all over the place from one area to another. And what will happen is a prey animal will come along, something like a small invertebrate, maybe a fly, maybe a woodlouse or something, will come along and it will touch that web on the floor and it will spring up. The web will, the silk will spring up and catch the prey item, and the spider can then come and find it and dispatch it with that venom. Not really dangerous to us at all. A lot of nonsense being written in the media about these things. They're not particularly dangerous at all. Fantastic little animal, beautiful. She's happy just to go on my nose. There we go. Oh, thank you very much. That is the false widow spider. Absolutely nothing to worry about whatsoever. Found in sheds, found in outhouses. Pff. She's a beautiful animal, and I just love my spiders, and I'm just going to let her go back to this outbuilding here. Certainly the best thing about this place, considering its rather ugly nature. She's not ugly at all, she's absolutely beautiful. Off you go, dear. Yes, the false widow spider, I love them. We've met some pretty awesome predators so far, but there's one more I've got to show you. And it's the king, or rather she's the queen of this aquatic realm. But I'm going to need a little bit of help in doing so, because I'm going after the apex predator of the entire underwater world. Have a look at these beautiful autumnal colours. You've got the reds and the yellows, the oranges transitioning through all the way to those dark... Whoa, hang on, Tim. Can't believe it. Just as you turn away, Tim, it's going into the branches under here. Well, I'm hoping this is what we've come for. It's drawn a bit solid here. Uh-oh. I think it might have gone into the branches. Hang on a sec. I'm just gonna... there's no way that's moving, hang on. Got the line. Just trying to get this line. Oh, I've got it, it's come off. I've got it. I've got the fish. Ow, blimey. Oh, can you believe that? I've got the fish. This is what we've come to find. This is it. This is the pike, famous Esox lucius. Just going to put it in the water a little bit there, give it a bit of a breather. This fish is so well named, Esox lucius. Esox means pitiless, merciless. Lucius, wolf. Lucius, lupine, but water wolf. So the pitiless water wolf. Isn't that a fantastic name for this animal? Have a look at the size of the head here. Big head, torpedo head. If there's anything in the natural world that looks more like a modern day torpedo, I haven't found it yet, because this is absolutely perfect. Look at that. Let's pop him back in the water for a moment here. Let's get its breath back. Very old fish, this. One of the most successful fish in the world, and around at the time of the dinosaurs. This fish, the pike, goes right back 65 million years to the time of the dinosaurs. It's a survivor, it's done very well. Have a look at that dappled light on the side there, and not just the spots of dappled light along here, but you've also got these lines, and if I just pop him in the water, you can see they almost just disappear. Well, they do disappear. Fantastic. I'm so glad we've got one. These fish are the brilliant ambush predators. They'll sit in places like this where we caught this one, submerged logs and the like, and they will use that massive tail to power themselves forward. But have a look at this. Most fish have a dorsal fin up here on the back. This one has it right at the bottom end here, and then it's got this big anal fin here as well, and the tail. So it's got a tail, two big fins. It's basically got 3 tails. Isn't that amazing? And they'll use that sudden flash of speed, whack right out, grab its prey, another fish, but they're not particularly particular. This animal takes a huge variety of prey. Fantastic predator. There we go, just a nice lot of, get some oxygen back in there. There we go. He's good, he's doing real good. They are quite a fragile fish, really. You've got to give them a lot of respect and a lot of care. And of course, the other reason you've got to give them a lot of respect is because of this. Look at that mouth. Just have a look at that mouth. So you've got the normal teeth around here on the sides. You've also got all of that, which is teeth down there. These are all teeth, backward facing teeth. And actually right down near the gills, all of that is also teeth. Unbelievable. A mouthful of teeth, literally. Fantastic, fantastic predator. As I was saying, not very particular about what it eats. It takes small rodents swimming on the surface, reptiles like a snake swimming along by the reeds, another favourite haunt of this fish, other things like water birds. Can you imagine? This will take something like a duck when it gets fully grown, and they get far, far, far bigger than this. This is probably a male. The males are always much smaller than the females. Fully grown males, much smaller than the females. Females get to about 50, 60 pounds. Can you imagine that? This is tiny. This is a small fry. As well as being fantastically evolved and looking like a torpedo, this fish also has quite a unique sensory system. It's got the lateral line down here, down the side of its body, like all fish have down there, but it also has these things called neuromasts. Can you see these little holes in the top of the head here? These are called neuromasts, and they're all part of that lateral line system, that sensory system, and that enables the fish to not just locate prey, but also it follows vortexes of water that its prey have made through the water. So it's almost like have a think about it like tracking through snow. You've got this otherwise bleak wilderness, and you're seeing these tracks, these trails being made all over the place, and you can see how fresh a trail is. So this pike will follow other fish, its prey items, and it will have a look around the area, and it will know where the prey was last. Fantastic animal, beautiful creature, and I think I'm just going to let him go on his way. I'm in a bit of discomfort. I've caused him a little bit of discomfort, but not much at all really. I'm just going to let him go on his way down here. Yes! How about that? What a beautiful species, and what a privilege to spend a moment with an animal like that. You know what, on this journey, on this adventure, we've seen the largest aquatic species of insect in the UK. We've seen one of Britain's only carnivorous plants. We've had the most feared genus of spider crawling over my face. We've even discovered a new species, how about that? And we've just seen the apex predator of this entire ecosystem. Whew! What a journey it's been, what an adventure. I thank you for coming with me. Yes, go Meres and Mosses!